Howdy, friends. I am back with another Fear Street review. This week I'm talking about True Detective Night Country, which airs Sunday nights on HBO Max, or Max if you're wanting to be correct with her new name. The season finale airs this Sunday, so you can binge all 6 episodes if you're one of those people that waited to see it all together. I'm not one of those people, as I keep looking at the wrong side because my camera's here. You know what? I'm distractible. If you're one of those people that wait to binge things at the end, now's your time to shine. Because of that, I will not be talking about spoilers because it's a really good show. And so I want you to watch it if you've not seen it. I've also seen the finale, and I don't want that ruined for anybody because I was gagged. So I'll be talking about bigger themes and my feelings overall with this season, instead of getting to the nitty gritty, because we don't do spoilers here on this street when we can help it. And to kick us off, I'm going to read you the synopsis because, again, maybe you were like, what is True Country? I don't even have HBO unless I do a trial. The synopsis for this season, which is the 4th season of this anthology series. When the long winter night falls in Ennis, Alaska, the 8 men who operate the Salah Arctic Research Station vanish without a trace. To solve the case, detectives Liz Danver and Evangeline Navarro will have to confront the darkness they carry in themselves and dig into the haunted truths that lie buried under the eternal ice. I think that's a fair, easy way into what this season does without saying too much. To give a little bit of background, I didn't watch the first 3 seasons. So, if you are also pressed for time and you're just here for Issa López, you're good. At no point in time did I go, oh, I feel like I missed something, because she's doing her own thing. She's the showrunner and creator of this season. And so it feels like a standalone, even though the journalists and Twitter was like, there's a couple of Easter eggs and a couple of connections. They didn't feel like they took anything away from my story because I was watching this story. While we're talking about the whole anthology as a whole, the first 3 seasons have actors that I love, but I am just not a cop procedural girl for so many reasons. And it gave me the pictures and the clips gave me the same thing we get in every detective show. And I'm tired. And so I didn't watch those 3. I only pulled up for this one because I heard Issa López would be there, and I watched Tiger's Not Afraid. I made a personality for a minute. If you've not seen that movie, please do. But I knew that there was no way in hell the person who gave me Tiger's Not Afraid would give me more of the same cop stuff we see on TV all the time. There was no way. And I was right. Issa definitely brought her love of the horror genre. That's right, y'all. It gets scary this season. Don't know what y'all was doing before, but it's scary now. There's some creepy shit happening, and you're gonna get into it. She also brought her aesthetic, which I describe as magical realism because that's kind of what we do here. But I think that there's more to it than that. I don't ever want to put what she's doing in a box because there's so much popping, and I think it's so rich and so fun, and so imaginative that I don't like labels, but that's the closest I can get. It's magical realism horror happening here on this detective show. So many words I never thought I'd put together. Yay. She also brought a level of care to the issues that women of color face, as usual, again with her work, this time on a different specific population, which I'll get into a little bit more because that was something that I think that we keep not getting in mainstream media, and that salts my teens. But again, I'm going to try and stick to this because I'm a scatterable little girl. I also got really excited when the announcements were rolling out because Callie Reese is in the cast, and I've been yelling at people for almost 3 or 4 years to watch Catch the Fair One, which is where I was introduced to her work. She is a boxer who now is doing film and TV, and she's got a really cool way of approaching work and showing up in work that's important. Much like this episode of this season, she's in more than an episode of True Detective and Catch the Fair One. So please watch that movie and give her all of her flowers. But again, because Callie was there and Issa was there, I was like, this will not be the normal detective show that I wish I'd never started and I wish I'd never seen. I felt like I was in good hands and they never let me down. Again, this was a season. 6 episodes, almost no notes. So anywho's, Callie and Jodie Foster, that's right, Jodie the Foster, if you will, are playing detectives Navarro and Danvers, respectively. Off the bat, we have women who are working cases instead of being the victims or the neglected, abused wives we normally see in this subgenre. We're already flipping tropes and changing lives. It was something different, and it felt like something we never see because we hardly ever see it. And so already I was leaned in, I was tuned in, I cleared my calendar again. I also love that these two characters have beef. It's a very uneasy sisterhood. They are the ones who watch others' backs, but also they have some unresolved things, which also sets us apart from other propaganda shows. Again, like just give women more to do and stop interrupting. That's really kind of it. Like if you stop listening to this right now, that's the takeaway. That's my thesis. I I also love that both of their characters get to be flawed and messy and they're not beholden to like likability politics. Even when I'm disagreeing with them or questioning their judgment or not trusting them, I'm happy to see them and I'm happy to see them doing what they're doing. We also get Fiona Shaw. I didn't know she was going to be here because I had to mute things so nobody would spoil anything after I knew my first three were going to be there. But I love when Fiona shows up because she's a symbol for quality TV. She's never let me down. And so I was like, in case I didn't already know that it was going to be my new personality, Fiona just confirmed. Outside of the usual favorites that we are all singing about and talking about and like gushing about, this series also just has like a ton of indigenous actors who get actual lines and they're not just props like in some other recent projects. They get to do things. They're involved in the story because the story is happening on their land, and we also are getting nods to the history and the culture, which makes it feel more lived in than some things that people are excited about. Yeah. Enos is a fictional town in Alaska. I don't want to get into spoiler territory, but the season really focuses on the violence against Indigenous women. And so I was happy to see that that meant casting Indigenous women and letting them speak, which again, I'm sad that that is revolutionary in 2024. And I'm sad that we don't get that more often when we are telling these stories. But also, when you look at who's telling the stories, usually it makes sense. I was not concerned with that this time around because again, the double hit of López and Reese, I don't see them attach themselves to anything that would remove anybody from their story. So again, I was very happy that I believed in them and they kept it going. We did not let me down. I am not here to bitch about it. I'm happy. I'm so happy with this series. It's a cool, moody little series. Again, there's some scary things happening. There's some weird shit happening. You're not sure you believe what you saw. You're not sure you saw what you think you saw. There's different versions of different things happening because people do and don't want to believe things, and everybody has different parts of the story. It's a proper mystery. It's so proper. I didn't figure out what was going on. I watched the finale and I was like, "That's it." Oh shit. That was my reaction as opposed to I called that in episode 1. Thanks, HBO. Which happens a lot. I even like the soundtrack. Like the opening song is one of my older favorite Billie Eilish songs. There's some Florence and the Machine. There's a really haunting version of Save Tonight. Like literally from open to end credits, everything is an event. Each episode of this fourth season is an event. It's a whole little movie. It's amazing how it interweaves. It's amazing how we're building this mystery. Not to start quoting Sarah McLachlan, but again, I'm a scattered girl today. And I lived the whole time. It was one of the few times where you are putting your phone down. Like the second it starts, it's appointment TV, your phone's down. When the credits are done, you need a few moments to catch your breath and figure out what you think your new theories are. And I live. I want more of that. I want so much more of that. I've said it many times, I think. This season is 6 episodes long. I wanted more, not because it felt unfinished, but because it was just so good. And we don't get a lot of stuff that is cool and interesting and cohesive. I just also just wanted more time with these characters. I know this series is an anthology, but I hope we at least get to reassemble this team again. If another season is to be had, again, we could tell a different story. I want to see them all work together again because I deserve it. I don't know about the rest of the world, but I feel like I've been really fucking cool and good under the circumstances, and I want more of this. I also just don't think we can go back to the way it used to be going. To put that kindly, as Maya Angelou used to say, when you know better, you do better. We know better now. We cannot go back to what we were doing before this season rolled out. It would be a disservice to the new fans that like blew up the HBO Max app to get in on this, because I'm not the only person who started this season. I don't feel compelled to go back for earlier seasons, and that's just me and my Gemini heart after seeing some things go down on Twitter. Yeah. I'm good with this to be my first season of this show, and if we get more seasons with this team, I will also show up because I had a damn good time. If we don't, I have this season. End of period. I'm not going backwards. What do I know though? I just watch TV and talk about it all the time. Anywho's, do I like this? Hell's yes. I'm giving it 5 stars, drinks, tomatoes, whatever we're doing today. I can think of very few notes. And those notes are so minor that they don't even fucking matter. Which I mean, what a world to live in when you can say that about something, especially when it's been 6 episodes and not one episode dropped the ball or felt like filler. At no point did I go, oh, we didn't know what we were doing this week. I felt like these are new clues. This is a new part of the mystery. I'm getting out my like Scooby-Doo pin. I'm getting out my magnifying glass. I want to know more. And when we got where we were going, I felt satisfied. I felt happy. I also think that we had enough of the conversations that we need to have with a cop procedural, just from a character standpoint. Because Reese is obviously a woman of color who is a detective. And whenever I see that on TV, I'm just like, will we ever have a conversation about that? Will we understand why this person is in this field, which is not typically kind to us who identify as women of color? And so I think that we get enough of her reasoning for why she does what she does and what matters to her in her job and how she's using the badge for the best that she can in the circumstances she can. Not to yell a cab too loud on this Rotten Tomatoes review, but I just think that that's something that's usually missing when we have cis straight white men writing these stories and just like casting people of color as cops and not giving it any care, any weight. Because I always wonder, even in a sitcom like New Girl, I'm just like, does Winston ever go, hey, I'm a Black dude and I'm a cop? So yeah, I love that we address these things, even though they are not always front and center. But like when you're doing your characters a service, things get woven into the story. And so again, I don't want to ruin anything or spoil anything, but I think that we bring it up enough. And I think that for where things go, it is given the weight it deserves. And I live. But yeah, it's a 5-star review for me. I didn't see one of those coming so early in the year. Yay me, yay y'all. Woo! If you agree that you had a damn good time with this show, you can tell us in the comments. If you disagree and can do it respectfully, you can also share that if you really feel pressed to. If you're rude about disagreeing, I'm just going to block you because that's the era I'm in. Proceed with caution. I will also like to say thank you to our friends at Warner Brothers for making this review possible. We're an independent podcast, so access to screeners goes a long way in helping us generate more content and give a better idea of what horrible things are out there for us to all watch together or separately together. I don't know. Anywho, that's what I know about this. I'm sad it's over. I hope we get more one way or the other. Again, if we can't get more on this story, which I would never make somebody just keep doing something soulless, because if it's done, it's done. And it feels like it could be done. It feels like it could be done. But I would like to see this team do something else. I don't even care what. I will just show up and open my wallet. It could be another series. It could be a movie. It could be a garage band. I don't care. I want everybody back together immediately. And I'm selfish, and I know that, but that's what I want. I'm going to stop there because this could go on forever because the fangirling is trying to make me ruin some things. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the season. Stay fierce out there. Bye.